wilding on it too.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to wild out.
We up, fellas.
You ready, Ralph?
What we doing?
I don't know.
Oh,
If you off on Monday, man, I might need some help, man. We have, it depends on what you want to do. If you available, I'm early though.
how your people call
Right.
Hey, Sean, is Ralph available? Because this is.
I'll be at work.
No, you won't. Actually, you won't.
You gotta call the people.
Actually, you won't. Actually, you won't. The bowling alley stuff, everything happens after noon. I'm from 10 to 11. I'm shooting from 10 to 11. God damn, is that?
I ain't spitting.
What's that?
I don't know. They ain't spitting.
Yeah. What you drinking? That's tape. Tape.
So sweet.
Yo, we going live on Facebook today too, right? So we gonna crank this thing up, man. We gonna get right. First joint, man.
It's on the YouTube right now.
Yes, we gonna crank this. We YouTubing it. We gonna do this thing right, man.
Yeah.
We need a good old army in there. We gonna bust this thing down. I don't know what we're talking about. We gonna talk about it though.
All the way up there. You ready, Grandpa?
Yeah. Let's get it.
Behind schedule.
A little bit, a lot of it.
That's what
But Lola playing the game, so she ain't tripping.
She will spend the night.
On the game.
On the
the whole time. Mine.
Yeah! Hola, mi gente! It's your man, the Puerto Rican Orlando Crespo. Guess what? I'm giving you the rice and beans. Know what I mean? What up, Slime?
Hey!
What's happening? It's your boy, Carl.
Going
Give it a little
live.
paint where it ain't. Little seasoning with some reading. We got the 4 horsemen in the house today.
Yeah.
Huh? The 4
Okay.
horsemen. Man, tell them people who y'all live.
Yo, what's good? It's the God Flex, the original Rule Intellect. Happy to be back on the set. Let's go.
Yo, what up, dog? It's been a minute since we talked to you motherfuckers. Well, me. Let's go. I'm trying to get some shit done. Can I do it?
No,
What that say?
we started. That's actually dope.
God damn, can I do this?
That's dope.
I do this too.
But you should have been done that
Hey,
too.
look
You
at
gotta-
It's the new year. It's the new year.
Yeah.
Bring it right up there.
New year.
Yo, but while we speak on New Year real quick, y'all do realize that it's not the New Year because there's nothing new outside. Everything's dead outside right now.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear real quick. But Happy New Year.
No, cold live. Okay.
It's a new strain.
Yeah, it is.
Unicron.
Mario.
I thought it was Transformers.
I don't want to crack a joke. I don't want to crack a joke on it. Like they just make it up there. It's just a new strand for everything.
That's on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they keep switching that thing up.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Crossover.
Welcome back. Oh, I guess it's
Yeah,
yeah.
we gonna get to that.
Oh,
Bro, how you been,
man?
though?
Let me
How y'all
say.
been?
We
Oh,
good, bro.
man,
Good
yeah,
to
bro,
see
how
you.
you doing? You was out for a week or two.
Yeah, I had to take a week over the very great lady.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I seen you had a jersey on and everything.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, I
You
seen
know,
that.
Big thing. You know what I'm saying?
I
We gotta
see.
speak it into existence.
Rapping.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the skating.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No, wait.
Man, come on here for y'all to grill me. I'm already getting up.
Don't talk. Yo.
Julius, we
Yo.
need you right now. Okay, I get
That
enough of you.
skating thing is like that's.
I'm
yeah.
gonna.
I'm gonna.
I
just
think
get
y'all
ready.
had a discussion prior to me coming about that, and was gonna grill me. I wasn't aware.
You
of
be
any-
setting yourself up though. How you gonna put a skating playlist in the freaking page,
Right.
and then people been waiting for like a year for you to set up?
I'm gonna get it together.
Well, we set him up.
We gonna do it.
You threw that one off the backboard and missed it.
And then say yourself,
Listen, I just need y'all to show up. I'm gonna put a date on it. Okay? For everybody. If you got kids or whatever, get them situated or whatever the case may be. They'll be grown, say we get out there, fellowship, have a good time. We're gonna go roller skate. You heard it first, okay?
It's not the first time I heard it.
Let's go to the next topic. Screw y'all.
Shout out to my young boy, Derek, man. He held it down. He made me want to step my shit.
Yeah, I seen Derek today. Yeah, I seen him today. Yeah. Shout out to
Cars
Cars
Corner.
Corner. Yeah.
Them boys
1/3
out there.
to Just Listen. Hey, when they coming on the show?
We talked about that
whenever-
today. They said, yeah, you gotta do a monster show.
Whenever
Just listen, or
I'm not doing that, but
don't play
Don't play
yourself,
yourself.
or then
why not everybody?
why
Why
not?
can't we
We've
do a
invited-
black
we've invited-
podcast
It ain't on
super
us.
team?
It ain't on us.
we've invited it.
Y'all heard that. I'm not even gonna let y'all live.
Yeah, that's
over
not
there.
on
Y'all
us.
heard that.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
And
They got
Get it.
they got a Suge Knight running that shit, so they don't tell them what's
I'm
going
not
on.
gonna keep talking about my brother.
I can see how this out
I'm just saying.
I should just throw this out there.
No,
I'm just
don't
saying.
do that. That's
I'm
good
just saying.
content, brother. You want to keep that. You don't work
It's
for
been a
me.
minute. It's
You
been
know
a
what? It's
minute.
been a while.
It's
You
been
know
a
what?
minute.
And the energy always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holla at Suge.
I'll let them.
Terrible. Terrible.
You know who he is.
Well, you shout out.
Oh man.
Yeah, other than that, man, shoot, everything's slow motion, man.
Slow motion better than no motion. Let's
Ain't it
get it.
though? Ain't it though?
Yes, indeed. Where we gonna start at, man? So much stuff been going on.
You got the card. You
Yeah,
tell us
go
where
ahead,
we're gonna
bro.
start at.
You
You
know
know
what,
start with that goddamn hat. Take that shit off and throw that shit
go
out.
ahead.
My bad,
It's
my
there
bad,
for
my bad.
people to see. It speaks for itself.
Who is these?
Okay.
Shout out to the
Shampoo.
break.
Champions. Let's start with some coaching, some issues that I've been seeing with some of the coaches that look like us, not on our behalf.
Mhm.
You know, Coach, what's his name? Kevin Ollie.
Yeah,
UConn.
he got his money.
He got his money. Y'all don't know he was a coach of the Huskies, the basketball man.
Didn't they
He
win?
won the championship.
Yeah, yeah.
in, what was it?
Wow, back here.
16.
It was been a 2 years.
The league, well, they kicked him out, saying that he broke some rules, some NCAA rules or whatever. They didn't really give him. They told him some stuff was messed up, but it wasn't on him. But they just like
He was the fall guy.
He was the fall guy, and so he sued him, and he got $11 million because they proved that it wasn't his doing. And it was the it was the organization mishandling the things that were supposed to be handled that wasn't in his control. Penny Hardaway, he snapped the other day.
Yes, he did.
He snapped the other day.
Yes, he did.
And I think it's coming down to where these reporters is getting reckless. And I'm sure they've been reckless, but now it's people a little bit more, give me my space. They came in and he went in and he said, hey, I done a lot for this team. And he said, we don't have no starters. We supposed to lose. You know, and he was like, why would you keep asking me stupid questions? He used a couple of explicatives. But he went in, and he's usually a mild-mannered guy. But I think a lot of these reporters are just getting out of pocket now. And folks just ain't going for it no more.
Yeah, you're right.
I think black athletes are starting to realize their own power too. I know recently with the Bills that Jerry Sullivan asked the guys after we lost the game, the win bowl, as they kind of coined it to New England, like, are you guys embarrassed after an embarrassing loss? And Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer both was like, what are we doing? Like, we better than this. Like, we give y'all, you come out here every day, win, like every week, win, loss, like whatever, but like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And they told me, like, well, we'll remember that. You know what I'm saying? I think athletes are starting to feel more empowered with what their own power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to answer nonsense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd be tight if everybody was like, yo, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
real.
what they want.
But that's not what they want. But when it gets there, then they're not even gonna be finding people for saying, I'm just here so I don't get fined. But that is the answer. You know?
So one athlete that I was real hard on who has turned the corner, Naomi Osaka. She was down in the Australian Open and she's gonna. No, I'm giving
He giving props to her. I think it sounded like he turned in the corner.
Yeah, since she been down there, she been giving them the business. She been straight up telling them, look, I'm not a god. I come out here when I was winning in this open, and this open, y'all was saying, oh, she's lucky. Oh, she got away with one. Oh, she was like, no, I'm good. And now that I lose, y'all want to come like I'm just some garbage. She was like, I'm not God. But I come out here and play. Y'all need to respect that. So hats off to her. I'll be the first to say I was on her head. Because she didn't want to come.
Definitely.
I was on her head.
Your little friend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jack.
On her head.
Yeah.
But she came out and she doing her thing, and I think she just got over that hump to where she just, like you just said, They tired of it, man. They tired of it. They realizing they work.
Can I ask a question when it comes to that? For our athletes, our black athletes, do you not realize that somebody has to like create a story? Somebody, like, that's what all of that is. It, like, we could literally sit there and they could ask a question and they could say, I don't have no response to that, and go to the next question.
Right.
Like, even though it's definitely gonna make you mad, but we don't have to add to the story that they're trying to create. Because see, like, I know, being a fan of Buffalo, I know when Jerry Sullivan asked that, he's been with the Bills forever. When he asked that question, it was about creating narrative. But if they had totally just ignored it and just say, hey, we're not here to answer that type of question, and kept it moving, there's no narrative created. You know what I'm saying? At least there's no negative narrative created or how they responded. Like, people would still have been like, well, they could have answered the question. Yeah, we could have, but instead of getting into a back and forth with a reporter who's trying to create a story because that's what they need as reporters, is stories, we decided not to answer the question. Like that, I think, like, that's that high road, when they go low, we go high thing that Michelle Obama was talking about. That you hit me with earlier. I don't know about that, but he tried to hit me with that. But you know what I'm saying? And I think, and I get it, it's a maturity level. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in the moment, I probably would have, like, let's get out of here. I would have been the same way. But we have to be aware of the system, because that is a part of the system, is creating narrative.
All right. Y'all know they come in sports shit.
I mean, sports.
Like, I'm waiting on somebody to get up there like, hey man, I'm gonna get fined for this, but fuck y'all.
Right.
Like, I'm just waiting on that. I think that was a situation in Buffalo where
I
wouldn't have been mad at them if they'd have been like, hey, you know what, man? Hey, how much money you get? Because we're gonna get fined for this.
Yeah.
And just been like, fuck y'all. Man. They set them up, man. They coming out of an emotional setting. And they ask them some crazy questions. I don't want to hear that. You know, everybody want to sit, and even you said it at one point, but you seem like you turned the corner. Of it's been professional, it's part of the job, all that. They getting paid a lot of money. Man, being a human is being a human. That's it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So, like with Dax, they jumped on Dax last week. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to feel different about Shannon Sharp. It's starting to look like a Stephen A to me in a minute, but we can argue about that later.
They building a new one.
Dax, you know, they asked Dax about people throwing stuff at the, you know, after the game, and Dax thought they were throwing it at the team, so he stood up for the team.
Right.
So then they said, no, Dax, they were throwing it at the refs. And in that moment, he just lost. He probably lost the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He did.
He dealing with a lot. They said, oh no, they was throwing it at the refs. He said, oh, when the salute them did. He emotional at that point. For 3 days, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, it came to the point where he had to come out, and I hate when they do it, but I understand the business of it. I ain't mean it like that. I wish you'd be like, hey man, all y'all can do is either watch the game or not when I'm playing. I said what I said, but I guess the NBA refs got involved in that shit.
Right.
So that's what because they was like, hey man, he can't be up here saying that kind of shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been watching sports a long time. I remember when refs make bad calls, and then one ref would hand out them jackets real quick, and they would run out the motherfucking rings. You know, so I'm like, should they be throwing to their refs? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? But don't expect a man to get up there, man, and ask him. You set him up for this question. Y'all set him up all the time. I'm sad. It's sad that they fall for it, but an emotional state, man, I don't know what I might say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We talk about emotional intelligence all the time. That's our thing. But sometimes you don't have it.
Right. You don't.
You're just emotional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, as far as that shit, man, you know.
Let me ask you a quick question. Are black men allowed to be emotional?
No. We already looked at it as being, you know,
violent, angry.
You know what I'm saying? So at the point
they're animals.
If we show compassion, it's looked at as like, you know, he came back and rescued everybody. You know what I'm saying? But we looked at it soft at the same time. Because we're not leaders. We soft, you know what I'm saying? The minute we lash out, oh man, they might dig up something in your past. Remember, I read the story, they said the dude was sleeping on the floor for so long in life. He came out and said, man, I ain't never slept on no damn floor. Where'd they get that story from? You know what I'm saying? So we don't get a chance to be humans in the eye of everybody else.
Why is that? in America have black males been considered humans? Black people?
Hell, your man just got up there and said we ain't even Americans.
He did.
Mitch
McConnell.
Mitch
Yeah.
McConnell, the richest senator in Congress, just came out and showed his racism. He just threw that. He's like, "That's the big joker. What you gonna do?"
I'm sure he meant to use the word love.
And you go making excuses for the
But
bullshit.
you know,
We
let's try to bring him
are.
back to that.
He said what he said.
I know,
don't
I know,
He said what
and
he
I
said.
know a lot
said
of
what he
people
said.
that are his age. Right. He didn't study.
Hell no.
But,
He
you know,
meant
there's
what
a
he
lot of
said.
people his age that probably meant to use the word. I know what he said,
He meant to
And
be
he
word
didn't say
negative,
it.
but he said.
but I think it was fucked up too.
African Americans versus. I don't know why y'all wait.
That's Crespo.
Spin it back real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Understand one thing: as black people
Mm-hmm.
in America, you are not really considered Americans by traditional Americans. You're black in America. That's why the laws and the policies apply to us differently. I know it sounds crazy, but if you really rationalize what happens to black people in America,
Mm-hmm.
you're not American. You're black surviving America. I've always said that.
Great perspective. One part is he had no backlash. No backlash.
You did.
I did.
Hey, Mom. Say, I'm out.
Hey, Mom.
There you go.
Sorry.
Euro stuff.
Yeah, I got a euro. I didn't realize.
You
You
did.
quit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sean.
No,
Yeah, I apologize.
No, we don't need that. No. But he didn't get any kind of repercussions. Nothing is gonna happen to this.
Nah.
Why would it?
Mm-hmm.
Did he lie?
You know why?
Did he lie?
Because people his age meant to say something else, like Crespo just said.
Right.
Did he lie?
If
So,
you say
so what happens is
go ahead.
they make the excuse for the racist shit that just occurred. Instead of holding him accountable for what he said, they give him the out.
Who are you to hold a white man accountable?
Amen. I'm gonna hold them all accountable.
How?
I'm a human. That's why
I'm
they
no career
that's why
politician.
He should have something. They need to get off.
Hey, man.
Who is that?
Why?
Them cats
He's
in
the
Kentucky
richest
ain't
senator.
voting nobody out of there.
Nobody.
Mitch McConnell is the richest senator in Congress,
Yeah.
and he also represents the poorest state. How do the poorest people in America keep telling the richest senator, "We got your back"?
Didn't nobody, none of his colleagues challenge what he said. What does that say about them?
We believe the same. We believe the same.
So I mean, at the end of the day,
He misspoke. That's what they're saying, bro. He misspoke. That's
So,
politics. Nobody has said it yet.
but that's what.
But when it comes out, it's like he was trying to convey this message instead of how it came across. He said it. He said what he said.
Oh, yeah, he meant that shit.
Definitely. There's been a few people that have done the same exact thing in interviews. The same exact thing. Man was interviewing what's her name? Nicole Hannah Jones, the author of the 1619 Project. Y'all need to pick this up when you get a chance.
It's a big date in Muslim history too.
Is it?
Islam, yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. But she won the Pulitzer Prize for the article that she did about 1619, and it really it focuses in on the deeply rooted racism in America in a way that is modernized. And she came out with the book. That's not the article. I think the article is intertwined there. Anyway, she did an interview. This white guy was interviewing her, and he asked her about critical race theory in the schools. And the question he asked was more in the sense of, well, why are blacks or minorities such and such, other than Americans? She said, your question is already skewed. She said, you already separated us from what you call American. And she was like, you don't see the problem in that?
No.
And he said, then listen, I didn't mean it that way. He just kind of brushed over, and she was like, that's your train of thought. That's how a lot of y'all think, and you don't even know it until somebody points it out to you, and then you don't even want to address it then.
Yo, I say this all the time. It's a difference between being an American and being black in America. Being black in America does not give you the same rights as being an American, even though constitutionally and technically people will say, well, you follow the same thing as I do, but it's applied different. And that, I believe, is part of what's wrong with America. See, America, if you go through your history, there was when America had give us your tired, your weak, your poor, or whatever that spiel was, it still was a limit on how many black people they was letting in the country at the time. This is all a plan. You know what I'm saying?
We weren't working. If we weren't,
Yeah.
within the plan of work, we weren't just, come on over and get some free land and all this, whereas
They didn't give us free land.
Nothing. Yeah, none of that. But other races were able to come over here. They were able to change their name just because of their skin color. Change their names to where they're not, we don't like Greek really. Okay, well, you come over, you can be a Smith, you can be a such and such.
But being black was demonized.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? What Martin Luther King said, look in the dictionary, look at the word black. Everything is negative.
Look at the word white.
Look at the word white and everything is pure. Like that's Dr. King said that in one of his famous speeches. The one that ain't we're gonna get the language that right tonight. They don't talk about that though, they talk about having a dream. That's like, you know what I'm saying? But part of this is, in my opinion, and I just want to speak for me, is black people's problem. Because we have failed to pass on our truth.
Speaking about that, let's get into the show, because that actually is part of the show.
My bad. Speaking on our truth. Keep it going.
I mean, go ahead, Lex, I'm just saying.
No. I don't know what the rest of the show has to entail. I will definitely jump in when it's my turn.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it was a great segue.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about, us as black men. What's our responsibility to our community, our children, and to the ladies? What is our responsibility?
That's black men.
As black men.
About to be heavy.
That is the show we about to have.
That's heavy. It's a good show too. It's heavy though.
And then I want to end with some very controversial things about some laws that was passed.
Florida?
No.
Oh, okay.
Texas?
No.
Okay.
Gender.
Will we?
Yeah. We'll end with that.
I know y'all had that last show with it was a lot that went on. Okay. I just want
It's all in the whole part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off where you want to start off, bro.
Let's go.
Go ahead. You the man. You brought it out.
What is our responsibility? That's a question that if you had to ask 10 men, 10 black men, you're gonna get 10 different answers. But what is our responsibility as black men? Let's break it down. Let's start with our community.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For me, I would say a sense of security. I think a lot of things that are lost in the households, not our generation after us and below us. They didn't have a lot of male role models within their lives. And I think a lot of it had to do with them just saying, okay, I got to find a way, I got to do this. And this is, for a lot of single mothers, single daughters that's coming out as working that feel like I got to do everything by myself. A sense of security and knowing that there is somebody that got your back in some instance, no matter where you're going. And that's just kind of like a topical thing. Another thing is really knowing our history and being able to transfer it to the people around us. If you don't know right from wrong, you're just gonna go out and try to figure it out yourself. But if you know better, you do better. And I think it takes for us to want to learn more about ourselves and the power of ourselves in order to put it into the universe and make it happen. Because I know a lot of times we'll sit back and say, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. Oh, that's nice. Wonder how she did that. But when do you take that chance? When do you jump out there? Mm-hmm. When do you say, let me try it? We're so scared and we want to sit back and see what other people are going to do. And we always got something to say about everybody else. Also, I think actually just bringing the community together. Mm-hmm. That's a start. Everybody comes home now, they park their car in the garage and they're in the house. Growing up, my neighbors I thought were family, extended family. Mm-hmm. They were always around. If I got in trouble, they would catch me first, got beat by them. They called my mom and my daddy, I got home and got beat by them. Yeah. Whereas now, everybody is so secluded and everybody is so separated. It creates divide within ourselves. And I think that's something we need to close the gap on in order to start being able to move forward.
Okay.
You
Well,
feel me?
That's right.
Oh,
for our community, I would say we have to bring that nurture, that being family oriented characteristic back. Sean mentioned that we don't socialize with each other. We kind of do our own thing. As a father, it's my duty to establish that love, great character, and a great sense of pride within yourself. Because I come from a mixed background and never shy away from your Black side or your Hispanic side. And to provide that love for the same, get that love to everybody in the community. Many years ago, Sean and I, we were part of a mentoring program.
mm-hmm.
And I was kind of heartfelt about that when it kind of faltered. But I seen the potential in a lot of those boys that we used to go see in the Pittsburgh community. Shout out to Pittsburgh downtown. But we kind of got away from that. And I would like to see programs like that, nowadays. Everybody's so isolated doing their own thing.
About getting back.
Mm-hmm.
What good is it if we can't spread it?
You finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry.
You want me to go?
I mean,
It's
do I want you to go?
So
I don't know. There's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you tell me, I can lean back. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when we speak on community, I think there's a lot that goes into that. The Black male has to understand what his role is in our community, not only to lead and protect, but to serve. And even though I said serve last, service is the biggest part of our job in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to make sure that we are empowering our young males to in a path that where they understand what their roles are going to be, because they're looking up to us, right? And I feel that as a Black male. And we also have to add confidence not only to our young men to be able to serve the future of our community, but our young ladies, we have to add confidence to them. One thing that has always been an issue, I shouldn't say always, but has been an issue since maybe the 60s or the 70s when fathers start not being in households is the confidence for young Black and Hispanic. I don't want to disclude them,
Sure.
but they haven't excluded. I didn't say that right.
I don't know.
Well, the tape have it. The tape have it. It's okay. If I did, I messed up. I apologize.
This dude is off duty.
Yeah, no, he's always on duty. But no, for real, I don't want to make it seem like that empowerment comes from Black men in the household. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we are our sons' first heroes, and we are our daughters' first boyfriends. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you had it in your household, but I'm gonna speak to you because I know you have a son and a daughter. But are there times where your daughter feels like she's more important in your life? Like I'm not sure it happens, but
a lot of times.
but it's like, yo, mommy, that's my man. Like that's my daddy. Like that, my daddy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that is very important because fathers are important in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start pulling them out of the community and mothers have to play both roles or fathers play a decreased role, then they don't get the full effect of being able to see how important they are, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when we speak of community and the Black male in the community, our work is service as Black males. There should be no Black female or child that comes around and doesn't feel protected by us.
Mm-hmm.
But what has happened over time or through the course of history, if you even go all the way back to slavery, is like they haven't felt protected in some ways.
Right.
Just imagine in slavery if all Black males would have wild out and you gotta kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kill us all. I'll put my life on the line to save theirs.
Mm-hmm.
That falls under the Willie Lynch.
Yeah, absolutely.
They went after the biggest, strongest.
Yeah, so they break him down.
in front
So
of
everybody else is scared.
to give you that sense of insecurity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, like we have to realize this. I'm gonna say this, man, and I hope people receive it well. For Black men, it's either elimination or we rise. And I know that sounds terrible because nobody wants to be extinct. And you know what? You know, if I hope I'm making sense when I say this, but Black people will swear up and down that we the chosen people, we's God's people. I don't think God gonna let us be extinct. I just don't believe that. And that's a faith of my own, but I don't believe that that's gonna happen. So we have to, at some point, even when our women are against us, we have to protect them and stand for them. And that's what's happened throughout history is we've proven when they broke the, like you were saying with the Willie Lynch, or even in the slavery times when they went and got the biggest Black dude and they emasculated him and scared everybody else. You gotta do all of us. Now what you gonna do? So I mean, I know it might sound kind of far-fetched, but at some point we have to stand up for our women and children. We have to. They'll follow us. I promise. Like I know we get I'm gonna go off a little bit. I know we have all these problems with who's a leader in the Black communities, the household. I'm glad, but I think a lot of it goes back to the fact that we're not really willing to give it all for them, even when they're not really fighting with us. I think that's a part of the problem. I think we are our fragile confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a woman behind you, bro. You're gonna do everything.
And if you don't, she gonna get it done.
That's why you gonna make it happen.
You know what I'm talking about?
Black women are magic. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all got countless stories about how we made impossible something happen, or something that we really wasn't sure of happened because it was a Black woman behind us pushing. It was your mom, a girlfriend, a wife, or a friend. That's right. Like Black women's power is magical. You know what I'm saying? We don't protect that.
I'm gonna talk about that.
I'm gonna let you have it. But it's all yours.
No, you're all right with it. Let's start with this community. Everybody in here can claim a block, right? You can say I was born here, there, wherever. But what have you done for that block? Where's the pride for that block that you claim? Because there's people that got it in blood, street names. But what have you done for that street? Hey, the kids on that street protect. Do y'all have any kind of thing in the neighborhood for that block? These are things that's lacking in our community. When I was coming up, like Sean said, everybody felt like family. So I mean, from this corner to that corner, discipline was up and down. There was no way that you could cuss on this end and you live on the other end and wouldn't nobody say nothing to you before you got home. And it was somebody there waiting when you got home. We've lost that because, like you said, we drive in our garages, we close the garage. We consider ourselves in our serenity. This is our peace. We made it out the world. You know what I'm saying? But now we're in our neighborhoods. We don't have Black. We need to get back to the point of Black parties. We need to get back to the point of having meetings in our community to address what's going on in our communities. We don't have that no more because everybody lives in these HOAs. They telling you everything to do, but the HOA ain't doing nothing for you, but you paying your money into it. Where's the pressure on that? There's no way my package can get stolen off my porch, which I'm lucky not to have it happen. And my community don't know where that package is. Because if it's parents, every household has a parent, at least one. I couldn't bring shit in my mama house without her knowing. Where you get that from? You get that from?
Whose is that?
Yeah. What a tag? Give me the receipt for it. And so show me where you bought it. Because you ain't got no money.
That's right.
Like things like that. Like there's no way for kids. Like we always say, your kids don't go outside. Where are they going outside to? You know, we complain when they up and down the street. I love the summertime in my neighborhood. There's so many little kids, they out there cussing, they out there playing on radiators. We did as kids, you know what I'm saying? They outside.
That's beautiful.
You gotta honk your horn going down the street because they come out. Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit, but you gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
But where was that?
We got all these open fields around us and no playgrounds. We so wrapped up in AAU, we so wrapped up in spring football that kids don't get to be kids. So by the time they 13, 14, they adults in the mind pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's scheduled.
Yeah.
Everything's scheduled.
And this ain't even for a dream they might have.
Might be your dream.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think when it comes to community, we have to start there. We have to start with, if a store come in our neighborhood, what is this store doing for the community? Asian beauty supplies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What are they providing besides a product for you to buy in our community? Mm-hmm. Are they throwing a picnic, just a day of appreciation for the community that's putting money in their pocket? Mm-hmm. What's going on? We can sit and I go to LA Fitness and it's one everywhere.
Right.
But LA Fitness don't care about black, white, no, they don't care about the dollar. Who bring? But you in a community that I live in. But my car can get a window bust out of in front of your establishment. Mm-hmm. But this is all in my community. What's going on with this? Women can't walk the street, kids can't walk the streets because we scared when the sun go down. What can happen? But hell, this day and age, we scared when the sun up. Mm-hmm. I just watched a show, report on the news the other day. A guy laying in the bed, straight bullet killed him. He visited his girlfriend from Russia. Where that bullet come from? Where's the community saying, yo, I heard a shot on this floor? All that stop snitching shit, y'all niggas be lying anyway. Y'all niggas that's always screaming stop snitching ain't doing no crimes no way. Let's keep it a buck. Right. You niggas ain't doing no crimes no way.
Can I ask a question when we talk about that? I think the whole stop snitching thing is kind of twisted anyway, because I don't commit no crimes in my community.
And that's
and if I see a crime in my community, for me not to say, hey, man, this is what's going on in my community, is actually going against the community I say I stand for. Snitching is me and Ralph do something wild, and we get caught, right? And we tell on each other. Right. That's snitching. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I know we grew up in a community where everything is like, hear no evil, see no evil, mind your business. And I understand that because that's something that I fight with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen things happening. I'll give you a quick story. I saw some kids stealing from Kroger. Right? I'm witnessing them getting ready to watch out. And as they were getting ready to walk out, I don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I called the young man over. I said, hey, man, my bro, come here. The stuff that you walking out of there with, it ain't worth the trouble that you can get into. I'll pay for it. It's happening on Thor Road. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh man, no, we was gonna make. I was like, no, let me just pay for it. Now, them kids could go back and they could go steal tomorrow or the next day. They could already be jammed up behind the same situation. But that current day, I was like, nah, I see you. They probably saw them too. I don't know if they did or they didn't. But I see you. Mm-hmm. And instead of having you running through here stealing chips and cookies and stuff like that, oh, I'll pay that little $20. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of community involvement is what's missing in our community. Mm-hmm. We're not involved and we're not engaged with it. Like when I saw them kids, man, I saw me. Because that was dumb stuff I did. And I don't want you to get jammed up for no reason. You feel me? Like it's hurtful. Like when people talk, and some people like, oh man, he was gonna snitch on us. No, man, I'm saving you from issues that you ain't even got to deal with. For $20 worth of candy, right. Bro, I got you. Go eat. Y'all need something else? But we don't look at snitching the same. It's not the same. And part of that is social media and everything else that's going around. Part of it is that. The nonsense you see on TV, that's not real. People have real problems in the world. People really out here going to jail forever at 17, 18 years old because they killed somebody. That's real. And we got to make sure that our kids understand that, man. That's not, your life is valuable. Even if it ain't valuable to you, it's valuable to the community for what your potential. We ain't talking that, though. We ain't talking that talk.
We got to get back to the families, man.
I agree. That village. Take a village.
And, I just read a comment from a sister that said the fruit is not the problem. I don't want to misquote her, so let me go back and read it. Children are the fruit of the parents. I can't touch that.
Oh, yeah, get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together, bro. Get it
Children are
together.
the fruit of the parents. The problem ain't the problem, quote unquote. The problem ain't the fruit; it's the tree. There's some truth to that. It is.
There's gonna be some bad fruit.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, what do we do in the meantime? Because if the fruit in the house messed up, if the parent in the house is messed up and the kid in the street, do we say, oh, it's got bad parents, or do we address this kid in the street? That's the village. We can all. It's funny how we can sit on the phone with a friend and listen to their problems all day, right? We can listen to so and so fucking this one, so and so I ain't fucking them, my money fucked up. But to see a child in the street fucking up and act like, you know what we'll say? That ain't my kid.
Close the blind.
But you listen to so and so cry about a dude that don't give a shit about it time and time again, or a dude that's sitting there crying about his girl not being able to cook day in, day out.
Right.
But if a kid in the street cussing, won't nobody even open a window and say, y'all
Cut on the goddamn cussing.
Right.
That happened when we was kids.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Miss Ann.
Yo,
Don't tell my mama because I'm gonna get beat.
it was a lot of kids out there selling water. And the sad part about it, they live in our communities, but we don't know none of their names. And they was out there just selling water. Instead of saying, look at Jerome and the little crew out there selling water. At least know one of them. We don't know none of them. When I grew up, man, any kid walking down the neighborhood, my mom go, hey, who that little boy? Where his parents live at?
Right.
My mama still do that to
She
this
knew
day.
everybody.
And there's 8 billion kids on my
block.
block.
It's for protection. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I thought my mom was just bugging. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't understand.
But I didn't understand it. But it's actually for protection because years ago we lost a young man for walking down the street with a hood on.
That's true.
With a hood on. And if it never made the news,
Nobody would have known.
We wouldn't know. It's people that live in that neighborhood who didn't know who that little boy was. Even the motherfucker that shot him.
That's why I shot
him. In the same neighborhood. Where is the? It's. I keep going to this HOA shit because they making a lot of money off a lot of. But you don't have a patrol car never in your neighborhood. Just a presence. But if we take it under our own, if we take it among ourselves, now you're gonna get crucified because you might not. The law might not help you or protect you from handling your business.
Right.
It depends on what state you live in. Hell, I'm looking at a law now. They talking about you don't even need a damn permit to have a gun.
To carry?
That's here, ain't
That's
it?
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Did they pass it?
I don't think it passed.
I mean, but
I know it's on the table.
just for it to be on the table, bro.
Yeah.
That let you know where the world going to.
And you know the only people it affect is us.
Why would it affect anybody else? The only people that got to police is you.
True.
Because ain't none of this happening in the white community. Because I ain't
They
seen it
want
on
you
the
to kill
news.
yourself.
I was going to say, you ain't seen it. I was going to get to that. You ain't seen it.
You know, right?
So it doesn't exist, quote unquote. But when it happens and they get off, we don't see that either.
No.
But as soon as we get, they pull up on us, we on News Live.
Let me ask a question. Ahmaud Arbery's case. Had that not had the exposure it has, you know the people get off, right?
All right.
Like, I don't think nobody sitting here
Yeah.
feels like, no, the system would have worked in their favor, in his favor.
I'm glad old boy hopped out his truck and recorded him.
Yeah, that was the best.
That was the best thing ever happened for that kid.
stupid thing you could have done.
It
was the best thing
put on
to get that kid justice.
That's what it did. Because
Think of how bold white people have become. Like, you know, when white women do, you call them Karens. Think how bold they are with this now. The lady who stormed the Capitol. I wish I could remember her name. I'm not going to jail.
Right.
And then when she said, wait.
She took a private jet.
Yeah, bro. I ain't going to jail. They stormed the Capitol. Bro, if we storm Publix, all of us going to jail for life. It's comical.
That's real.
She was for real. She was like,
Oh, man.
the lady we did the puppet thing. It's a revolution. What?
Right.
We did a puppet thing about that, man. Nickel City Project, check that out too. Quick plug. Quick plug.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Oh,
Now, we all address the community.
Yeah.
Let's address our children. What are we supposed to be instilling in our children the way this world is going today? What's the main thing we need to tell our children so when they walk out their door, they're aware of what's going on around them?
Good question.
Great respect all the way around, because when you step out, you could be a statistic real quick. And I don't care what you see on social media or on television. Some of it's real, some of it's not. But they're so vulnerable now, they get caught up and can't think for themselves. And they get around the wrong people, you could be locked up, shot up. I don't care how fair your complexion is. You never know what somebody's intentions are out there. To establish a great mindset, great work ethic, a level of respect, and love the people around you. Because the world don't give a damn about you out there. It's all games now, but when you hit 18 and you go on about your life, whatever it may be, Lord willing, you gotta fend for yourself. Mom and dad will always be there for you. Because at the end of the day, you'll always be my babies. And I'll do whatever I possibly can to protect my own and to guide them. Gotta have guidance and be aligned with the Most High as well, because it matters. That's why I study.
Yeah, them sentiments is forming real heavy in the room right now.
Can I ask a question on that though?
I got one too, but
No,
let's see
I
what happens.
I want to steal your thunder.
Yeah,
I don't
go
know,
ahead.
but we got no last time we're on the same.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Go ahead.
Because I do.
We can play tennis.
I do. I completely agree with that.
Okay.
As somebody who has grown up in a community where my parents taught me how to survive, because that's what you're talking survival.
Sure.
How do we actually teach our kids to not only survive, but to progress? And I'm asking you because you are the parent, and you and Ralph, you are the parents in here. Like, I think we got to the point to where our generation was really taught survival. But where is the progression in the survival? We can't just teach our kids to survive. We got to teach them. So I asked that question to you, both of you. I asked that question to both of you to try to get some clarity on that situation, because I'm not a victim of my environment, right? I'm not, I'm a survivor of everything growing up. Right. I survived it. I'm over it. So how do we progress from there?
So you have to teach them how to think for themselves and surround themselves with like-minded people. If you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself with people like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
It seems simple, it's not, but it's simple to us.
Because peer pressure is a monster.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm going through with my son right now. My son is 22 years old, and you know just as well because you hear my frustration with it. To be an independent thinker, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all was about to lead on to, like peer pressure is real, even as they are adults.
50-year-old motherfuckers on peer pressure. I'm sorry for cussing out.
I really teach my son. I'm really fighting with him now to think before you ask a question. You try to figure it out first. You know what I'm saying? If you can't come up with nothing, then ask somebody. There's nothing wrong with asking somebody.
Yeah.
But try to figure it out first, and it'll make you feel better to figure it out on your own first. You know, you can't. Everything you see on TV, like you said, ain't real. You know what I'm saying? So understand. I think I did a great job of teaching him that once the TV go off, life still go on.
That's right.
For them people too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be rich. You got to learn how to stay rich.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? For my broke ass. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I tell my son, man, when you walk out this door, man, understand that nobody cares about you. Nobody. And you have to understand that when you might show weakness, somebody might try to take advantage of it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So don't portray yourself to be something that you're not. You know what I'm saying? But don't also betray yourself for being something that you don't want to be. You know, that's what I tell my son. My daughter's got it, especially my oldest. She got it to a T.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I look at her sometimes like, damn, what how you do that? You know what I'm saying? But with my son, consider he's my hero because, like I said, my son's brain, his fight for life is total different than anybody that I know, besides somebody I know that's been shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with him, it's a thing of, first of all, we gonna understand before you walk out this door, you walking out this door not as my son, your mother's son, you walking out this door as a black man. That's what I tell my son. You walking out this door as a black man. Everything that's instilled in you, you learn from one of us. But understand, when you walk out this door, they don't know your parents. They probably think you came from a single parent household. Right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to address Happy Little Tarot in the group. We're not saying survival is all you need to learn. Okay, because that's why we got so many. I'm just saying.
Shout out to my weirdo friend. I gotta say that.
This is why we got so many. I'm independent about bitch. I can do this, I can do that. Survival is not everything. Okay, that's part of the struggle. And like I said, to have the right people around you, to have knowledge, to think for yourself. And also, I wanted to add in to also reach back, help the people behind you, your little sister, your little brother. Don't just be out there. And I'm talking about the little kids in the neighborhood as well.
Your cousin, your uncle, whoever.
For me, you know, I give my nieces money, but then I say, hey, look here. Around Christmas time, we're going to go shopping, but it ain't going to be for y'all. We're going to get these toys and we're going to go give them away. You know what I mean? Things of that nature to instill those things within them, to let them know that it's not always about them. Right. And like you were saying, you get out in the world, these people don't care about you. You got your friends or whatever, and those change within time, just like the season. You know, those are going to change, and once you're old enough, you'll be able to decipher who really down with you and who not. But so survival is not the lone trait that needs to be taught to these kids. That's just a small piece of it. So don't misconstrue what we're trying to say.
And instill the confidence too, because if they're at a young age, that's everything.
Confidence is so important.
If they can stand up and be proud of being who they are, that they halfway there, because everything else is dealing with somebody else's bullshit.
Watch that off. That confidence. So
understanding being confident as a young kid is
it's
so important.
It's huge.
It's gonna make you not be a follower. And I'm not saying we're not gonna all have following moments,
right?
But you're gonna make them decisions based on for you. Like, yeah, I did this, but I wanted to, and not just what everybody else did.
Everybody else.
Right. Yeah, everybody else. That wasn't acceptable in my career.
You know the best thing about the weirdo friend?
I love her.
Is she's
I swear to God, I love her. She knows that. I love you. If you can see me, I love you.
She's who she is.
She is.
I hate her. I love her. She's a very special person. Our little weirdo.
Our little weirdo friend.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you.
Sure.
You started off with respect in what you said, and I'm not saying I disagree with nothing that you said, but my example, as I want to ask you, because you said respect. Aubrey was running down the street, minding his business. He didn't disrespect anybody. And just minding his business, that didn't kill him. When you walk the street, or when you're out, are you a person that turn the cheek first, or do you defend right from wrong?
Like being a good Samaritan or something like that?
I'm saying
somebody. If I see something going wrong?
No, I'm saying you. If somebody was to approach you, are you will you
am I non-violent?
Yeah.
No, I will defend myself.
Oh.
I'm an initiator.
Did that answer your question?
I initiate.
I'm different on that.
There's nothing wrong with that though.
I'm gonna tell a story, and it kind of goes in with this. One day I'm driving, and I'm at this turn where there's a line to go to turn left, and I see it's a line of cars where the cars usually aren't piled up there.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm sitting there, I see this guy on the side of the road. He just kind of yelling and talking to himself and this and that.
Right.
I see him pick up rock. He throwing rocks at the cars. So I was like, oh, see what this dude finna do. So I pull up. He comes straight to my window, throws a rock at my window. So at this point, I could have got out, boom, put the stick on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like,
Stick talk.
But I said, nah, let me just keep going. So then he picked up another rock and threw it and hit my car again. So at this time, I hit the gas and hit a U-turn. He's in the middle of the street. And I'm going full speed, getting ready to hit this guy. And right before I hit him, I slammed on the brakes because I said, Sean, really, are you trying to go to jail for somebody that's not in their right mind right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped. And by that time, I think some security or somebody came out and tackled him. And for me, it was like me wanting to take this into my own hands.
Mm-hmm.
Could have placed me in a place where I could have been locked up or some charge, whatever the case. Off an emotional decision. So sometimes I want to get home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Now, if I'm completely disrespected the way you put your hands on me or somebody or one of my loved ones,
Sean hit your car.
I have to. My car, I can replace it.
Right. Car with your rock.
I can replace that.
So I'm gonna be
And I
honest.
felt it when they hit it. I'm telling you, I was in the hitter.
Because I feel you on that. What you're saying, I agree with 100%. But I am more of an initiation person. Like when it comes to certain, bro, you throw a rock at me, I'm letting you know right now we about to get it popped. I'm just letting you know. There's a lot of cars out here you can choose to throw a rock at. Me and you we gonna have a physical altercation if you throw a rock in my car. I'm letting you know. So whatever you got, I hope you got it, because I'm telling you, as soon as you lift the rock up and throw it at me, I better be down the street, bro.
You know, good brother, for a good brother of mine, he's a brother for real. David Williams said the law has already passed in New Orleans and Texas. I'm thinking he's talking about
The right to carry?
Yeah.
Texas been had it.
Texas.
Yeah, they been had it.
Well, I mean, you gotta realize that, certain states got different.
That's what
You gotta be careful where you are as a black person.
That's
That's
what
real.
Tesla went out.
And it's funny that you say that because Miss Shauna Nicole, I won't say her name, she said being black is disrespectful. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she she hit the nail right on the top of that. Okay, we dealt with kids. Everybody says something.
Yeah. We've been rocking today, right? We've just been
I
rocking.
knew this was gonna go.
Are y'all ready for war?
Let's go.
Go ahead.
What is our duties to the ladies? Do I have to say black ladies? Because I really didn't want to.
You better finish your sentence.
Yeah,
And get the right answer.
what are we supposed to instill? What are we supposed to show? What are we supposed to make them proud to be with part of us?
That's easy. Got it? For me, I've always been the type dependable. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, anybody out every day that I always ask, even while we're dating and even after, we're still cool. Did you feel safe around me? Did you feel like at any point I wouldn't stand up for you in any situation? And all of them would say, "Nah, I knew you. I was straight with you." So for me, I always want to make sure that they feel safe, and I'm able to provide a space for them to be who they want to be, whether in a supporting role or even giving them that space to say, "I want to try this venture. You think you can help me out with this or that?"
Be supportive.
Be supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want to give that. So for me, I always want to make sure that they're knowledgeable about where I'm coming from, because the average woman, I'll say, because I like to read about real type shit that's going on in the world. And if you can't talk to me about that, we're going to have some issues. And I want to lay this on you. So in order for us to get to a common ground to where if I'm out here and I'm doing this, I don't need you to be like, Rashawn, I'm a little scared of what's going to happen. No, I need you to have my back as well. because I'm always gonna have your back. Now, if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you too. So for me, I always want to give the sense of security. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that I am not what the society has portrayed for Black men. That we always gonna sleep around. We always gonna, no, you gonna know what's going on with me. And so I want to give that sense of security, that trust, and that friendship. I think a lot of times friendship is missing in a lot of relationships now. They become partnerships. And when they become partnerships, that companionship is pushed off to the side. It's pushed off to the side. So I think that the companionship is essential in order for it to grow.
That's what's up. Just to provide that sense of security, protection, to provide, to be supportive, to be compassionate, spontaneous, and man, listen, if you're not spontaneous, that would be predictable, because that's when the relationship will falter. What's going on?
I read a book. I ain't gonna tell you the name of the book, but it always said, never let. I'm not. Y'all think I'm crazy if I tell y'all what the name of the book.
I'm listening.
But it says, even in relationship and marriages, never let them feel like you're not gonna go anywhere.
That's right.
You always got to keep people on their toes.
That's it.
And I thought that was it.
Hey man, you gotta stay on point.
So me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take just a second to be a little vulnerable on this. You know what I'm saying? Because
we all working on this.
right, we all working on this. And I hope y'all don't judge me too
Right,
heavy
we
for
all
this. But
working
if
on
you do,
this.
I definitely understand, especially the people that this is home for, if they watch it. So I don't think in the history of me there's ever been a female who felt physically that they were unprotected.
Right.
I have definitely been emotionally unprotected. I haven't made that space safe. Spiritually unprotected. I haven't made that safe always, and mentally protected. I haven't made that safe, a safe space, a safe haven for women I've dealt with. So currently, what I try to do now is for the young ladies that I would want to potentially see to be with me is make sure that they understand is everything in my life, all of that is a place for you to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about protection, we think physically, like, ain't nobody getting ready to kick in the door and I'm not holding you down. You know what I'm saying? It's a Neanderthal. It's the silverback gorilla mind state. It's the even if I can't win, like I'm gonna go out trying to hold it down. Yeah, it's caveman. But you don't always understand that you gotta tap in emotionally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Or emotional, spiritual, physical, and mentally. You know, especially mentally. It's in our community, and that's why it slipped my mind, because mentally, this mental health thing is new to the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody tells you something in confidence that they're mentally going through, you have to make sure that that space is extremely safe. You know what I'm saying? And even spiritually, all of it. But mentally is something that we might be like, hey, look. Even if that is the case that they bugging, you got to make it safe for them to express it. It's not just entertaining it. Express it so we can speak on it. And to finish off what I'm saying is, so like here I am at 44 years old, understanding that better and making sure that the thing that I am currently building to make my safe space is to make sure that people who come into it have those securities. Because security is way bigger than just somebody kicking in your door. Because everybody ain't getting their doors kicked in. Right? Physically. Mm-hmm. But mentally, your boss been on your head about some nonsense forever. Mm-hmm. And spiritually, the devil knocking at your door every day. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, dealing with the traumas from the past. You know what I'm saying? And the damn doors is being knocked down. But I'm thinking that because ain't nobody kicking in the door, shit is all good. Right. It's not. So that's something that I'm currently myself trying to work with and be a lot better with.
Me and my brother had my brother Sean. He was on a show. I think it was a show that Shannon was on. Shout out to Shannon. And we were talking about being available. You know what I'm saying? In any way possible. Like when you tell a lady, I'm just gonna say a lady, if you say things to her like, what's the matter? You gotta be really open to whatever she's about to tell you. So you gotta make sure she has that confidence to know that, I might just tell this motherfucker like, I got a hemorrhoid. She might not be, you know what I'm saying? Like she's gotta be comfortable to say that. A sense of pride in herself though. I think that's that a lot of us lack. We a woman, she's sexy, but we won't tell her how we really feel. And with that comes, damn, baby, it's all about translation. One thing about me is my delivery has always been disgusting. I'm working on that.
Sean said that. You pointed at me and Sean said it was disgusting. But I didn't disagree though.
To be able to be encouraging, even in the truth that you might have to tell, because everything ain't sweet. You know what I'm saying? This has to be your best friend. I need whatever woman end up sharing my last name to know that you're it for me. You're my best friend. A lot of women know that they're in a relationship, but they don't know their status in that relationship. Where you just a helpmate, or you actually somebody that somebody want to die with. Like you said something that I couldn't agree with when you said to make them feel like don't never let them feel like you ain't gonna leave. I want my partner always to feel like it ain't nothing else out there for me, so this is where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? This is it for me. I don't ever want to think I ain't gonna leave, but I need you to understand that me being here is the most important thing to me. I'm gonna get it to work as much as I'm gonna do whatever I can for this to work. If it don't work, I will.
Right.
But we're gonna turn over every rock before I walk out that door.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Big respect.
I think a lot, especially me, vulnerability is something that I'm definitely working on. I wasn't brought up in a situation as far as my mother and father were being soft was an option. It just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people say, why you don't smile? Smiling is something I was taught that men didn't do. Men didn't show their teeth. You know what I'm saying? It's you can call it phobia, you can call it PTSD, whatever title you want to put on it, that's just what it was. So in a lot of instances, people say, what's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with me.
That's the era we from.
I
think that's kind of the era.
That ain't what I do.
And it might not have been taught across the board.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah, because I kind of was brought up like that.
I get
yo, man, what you want to cheesing about?
But I think we just need to make our way, and not just the specific. There we go.
The ocean. Right. That specific, like the ocean.
I think our responsibility to our women is to let them know that we got.
Yeah, that's we feel.
You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got we ain't got you because you sexy. And we ain't got you because we feel sorry for you because you're going through this. We got you. That goes back to the community shit I was talking about earlier. I see a lot of women get passed over in many situations, especially in this dating game. And I ain't saying everybody ain't gonna have no preference. Now, if you just ain't me, I ain't wrestling with you. That's just me. But we pass up a lot of great opportunities based on shit that we don't even need from that person. But like you said, it's a partnership with shit.
Companionship.
No, you said
sometimes it turns into a partnership.
Yeah. Like to me, if you with somebody just because they feel safe financially, stay by yourself. Because you already safe financially.
But wait, that's what's important to them. Can you tell them to stay by themselves?
But that's the
like everybody. Some people looking to be secure financially. Right. Everything else, man, I'll figure out on the way.
But you can't expect me to be the husband if it's only based on what I do financially.
Why not?
Because if I break my leg and I ain't able to bring these coins in, like
I don't need you no more.
That's what the problem.
Problem for who?
For me.
I agree. It is a problem for you.
For me.
But for the person that's actually in the situation and that's what they're looking for, they've shown signs of that.
And the awareness has to be there. Happy. She said it. The awareness has to be there, and that's where he was saying when you're talking, you feel these things.
Our communication got to be.
Communication.
For me, I need the communication where it don't have a filter. It might come off raw sometimes, but if it's a real feeling, I ain't saying a disrespect. It's a difference between being disrespectful and just being real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I need that. That's me. Some men be looking like,
go ahead.
Some men might look at it like, nah, he don't want that. I need that because that's the only way I know how to receive it. Mm-hmm. You know, when some men want you to be soft with them, I don't take softness really serious like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Cause I be like, okay,
whatever.
You know me.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I hear you.
I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody say, yo, fucking up, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if it's coming from a place, I can tell it that you just talking shit and you really holler at it.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
If your significant other tells you one thing about yourself, and it's in the heat of the moment, but then if your homeboy, not saying it's, if your homeboy that knows you in and out says it, are you taking it differently from your significant other and putting more stock into that, or you put more stock into
you know what? I'm a person that works better under chaos.
You've always said that. Yeah,
I'm more focused. I'm more into everything under chaos than I am when things are settled. When things are settled, I'm kind of, you can lose me in translation versus in chaos.
But is that PTSD, Ralph?
I call it a long talk.
I ain't calling. I'm asking what it is. I'm not calling.
I just always work better when shit is really going down versus when I'm just chill. Think about it. What I like to do for fun. I go to the woods. And I don't know what might happen, but I'm walking around in the woods and something might jump out, and I'm very focused out there. I go to the gym. It's a pressure of being in there. You know what I'm saying? At work, when shit hitting the fan. When it's raining and storming, I'm at it's the fun is to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Versus a sunny day, I'm like, this is boring. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Like, though. I ain't saying an action junkie, but I'm saying like,
I get what you're saying.
When
I ain't mad at it.
Listen to Action Jackson.
You know what I'm saying? I just to me,
I get it.
You know what it is, and I'm gonna say the PTSD because in my world, when things are too good. I might lose something, and that's when I get caught slipping.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like when comfort becomes too comfortable,
right?
Then
you don't want. Yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of always live like, yeah, all right. Like somebody could walk in here right now, they can be real cool with you, and I don't know them. All right.
I don't feel that too though. Like even though I feel I'm cool and comfort. If somebody walk in and y'all know him and everybody's cool, like, in my head,
with both of y'all, it's happening with me.
Who is this?
Flex tapped me.
I mean, just, but I just like you said, protection. Gotta be affection. That's one thing a lot of us lack. We think we buy them what we think they want. Is that showing affection? Sometimes you gotta buy them shit. You be affectionate. You want.
I gotta sit around and chill with you and actually listen to that
you might have to watch.
I'm sorry. That's gonna be a problem.
But I learned over the years, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit that we thought was cool, ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Hell, and me and you go even farther when we talked about rape. Like, rape is real, and we all been rapists. I hate to tell you that.
Rape culture.
Yeah, we all been rapists.
Rape culture.
We all participated in the culture of rape in our 44, 3, 2 in our years.
Yeah, I've been to movies.
Like, it's deep, but we don't look at it like that because we look at it as
it's the culture you grew up.
Yeah,
it was acceptable.
So fellas, keep your hands off these
ladies.
Damn hands.
I thought about you this week, man.
For real.
I thought about you. It's a guy I work with, and he's a hug creep. Remember we talked about these guys that want to hug every chick, every. Oh, what my hug?
It's all in the lingo,
bro. Hospitality.
That's not.
Nah, man. I don't. I like the hug. I like the hug, but if we ain't on that level, I'm not hugging.
It's not.
I don't expect a hug from every female I know.
I just
you refuse it?
No.
But when you hear a man say to a woman, "Where's my hug?"
Right.
It hurts.
Right.
This is personal. She done hug 10,000
Right.
people. But you work on
Right.
and you on team.
Pull up. Hey, what my hug?
With my hug.
Yeah,
Because you know when somebody out of pocket, like, what you doing over here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then he stand around, dooby. Oh, yeah. That's a little weird to me. I mean, you just gotta watch, and you gotta watch with women too, though, because women can get free feels on you and think it's cool. But I'm the guy. If you touch me inappropriately,
You do it.
I'm going to do it. That way, we understand. We can go off
neutral.
Yeah.
You with the shit.
You don't like it, I don't like it either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just that kind of person. I'm not the all touchy feely, especially a man. You ain't gotta touch me at all. Ain't no reason for a man to touch me. At all.
So
This one guy
Yeah,
told me.
man.
How we handshake?
Huh?
How we handshake?
me and you?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm fine. It's
Oh,
all
That's
good.
it.
That's it.
It's all good.
That's it. I don't need all of it. You know what I'm
Butterfly
saying?
thing.
Relax, bro.
Right.
I ain't found it, but I'm not just me. This might sound crazy, but the dudes that I don't rock with,
I don't even pound.
Yeah,
I head not.
yeah. I'm gonna hit you with a hard two. Get out of there.
I ain't. That's too much energy.
I'm gonna hit you with a hard two.
But you know,
I'm gonna get out of there.
we have to look at how we are and ourselves before we can ever. If you can't love yourself in the most vulnerable state, you can't love nobody. It's like that. That's just how I look at that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us scared to we cry
You're not supposed
because we
admit
were
that.
taught that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
PTSD too.
Some of your best times came when you cried.
Cried it out.
And you don't even realize it because you're too busy thinking about how soft you look. So you about to go listen to some nonsense, make you feel hard all over again.
Check out my own file. All that.
But that's what I'm saying.
I thought you was thug.
I just think we all need to work on that, especially as black men, because we deal with so much. You know, vulnerability, is something that a lot of us lack, don't know how to find it. Read a book, read two, talk to somebody, just get some help with that.
Open up with them emotions.
Yeah, that's real. Like,
Yeah, it's okay for you to have emotions too. You ain't gotta hide them.
We have
You gotta hide them.
and believe it or not, you open it up to your lady, she might be the answer you're looking for. Versus hiding it from her.
You can't be vulnerable with the woman that
You got a lot of dudes out here that
like on some real. If the chick that you rocking with,
Yeah.
and you've been together for a minute, and she ain't seen you cry or she ain't seen you break down, or
because she
just get you.
women
like,
pick up on that shit. She
so
know
you
that
ain't
shit ain't
you
right.
fake. You
Yeah.
fake.
And now you faking to somebody you told you love.
Yeah, you faking not only to them, but you fake to yourself.
That's that intuition they have.
Yeah,
They know when the energy is bad.
Yeah, they get it.
Especially if they've been around for long.
Yeah.
But we like to thank everybody that was here with us live.
Yeah. I knew this was gonna come long.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. What we at 2 hours?
1:16.
Oh, really?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Let's have a conversation about something that's just passed like today, yesterday. Transgender participating in women's sports is a big thing that was on. A swimmer was in a competition and she lapped, lapped the competition by 2 up and down. Laps. Yeah.
That's correct.
Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know if everybody know who that is.
What you gonna tell them?
That was Bruce
Jenner.
Bruce Jenner, the Olympic
Olympic
champion. Yeah, gold medalist. He won. He came out. He was like, it's nonsense. He said that they shouldn't be participating in women's sports. Now, my thing is this. Years ago, we had a guy that didn't have no legs. He participated in the track and field, and they eliminated him. They said it's not fair, competition-wise. He had no legs. We have the paraplegic games. These are games where people Special Olympics. They give them their own games to handle it, to do their thing, that whatever. But when we come down to this gender thing, everybody's so fucking scared to just say, yo, this shit ain't right. You were born a man, so you still have man features about you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That gives you an advantage. Just because you made a choice. Okay. My thing is this. There's a lot of little girls out here who striving to get to this shit. You know what I'm saying? God made them. I'm gonna say little girls. God made them. that's striving to get to this shit. Olympic. Let me change it. Let me stop calling this shit. Striving to get better at sports, to keep excelling at sports. Are we really so scared of hurting a couple feelings that we take away the fair advantage from somebody that's actually just going at it on how they were born? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what we are as a society? I don't agree with everything with the transgender thing. That's my personal. And I don't have it. My grandbabies the oldest girl is 4. You know what I'm saying? So they're far off. This could change by the time she get there. But right now, it's a little girl out there who's one step away from getting to the Olympics. Do we really want her to lose to a transgender? And what they did was, what I thought was some punk shit, but they said it's on a sport by sport basis. So instead of just saying, no, we ain't allowing that, we're gonna leave it up to the schools and the committees to decide if transgender is okay in this sport and that sport. You want to play something? Play chess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's why I feel, because I watch the sport. I'm very much into MMA, and they had a competition where a transgender went against a God-made woman, and the transgender almost broke her skull. You know what I'm saying? I commend the God-made woman even getting in there with her, because at the end of the day, we know men are stronger than women. That's just how it's hormonal. Yeah, it's just what it is. When is enough? I don't mind you want to change your body and all that, but when you're taking it to this level, and the world we live in that say they love us so much are not big enough to say, yo, we gotta do something. Well, when is enough? Because now you got women or men. I don't know what to call it. And if I'm offending somebody, that's because my ignorance of what the definition is. So please forgive. I ain't apologizing for nobody. I'm just gonna say my ignorance of not knowing the title that they got this week. Mm-hmm. I don't know it. But what are we gonna do? Are we gonna, because do they switch it around and do a transgender man get to go to basketball, and next thing you know they say, oh, it didn't happen like that because that's a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because do when men change it, or when women try to change to be a man, do we let them into boxing?
That's crazy.
It's things like this that as humans, man, we gotta chill out, man.
I'm all for inclusion, but there's limits to it. When it comes to competitive sports, I don't think it should be. I don't think transgender should be included.
Or you limit their life and their experience.
I know that. But you see
that's the argument.
But you see an unfair advantage.
I don't see anything. They identify as a woman, so that they're going to let them go as a woman. I don't think I'm not saying it's right or wrong, right, but that's the state I think that we're in. We're in a state of not being canceled. And that's what I think more people are afraid of than canceled. People are not going to stand up and say, nah. Because as soon as you do that, LGBTQ is powerful.
Very. I'm glad you said that.
Powerful. If you get canceled,
I would just have this conversation yesterday. Go ahead.
But I'm just gonna finish up real quick so you can jump in. Like the fear of being canceled and losing whatever monetary gains that you were going to be able to make, like that's powerful. You know what I'm saying?
That's bad for sport.
Who says who? Says who? Some people think that it might be a lane to open up something bigger than what we already got. It just depends on how you view it. For those of us who are traditionalists, we say, nah, this ain't right. But for somebody to say, yo, we can, in a minute, we can get them back in the Roman times, and we can have whoever fighting theirs.
Yeah, we on our way.
But I just say that as a random throw out, but you never know where people are looking at what the next thing is. So, but I'll relinquish the rest of my time to my brother so he can get in what he got to say.
As they say in the courtroom, can I reclaim my time?
You got it.
I was having this conversation with my father at work. Big Boom. I know you out there.
Boom.
I told him, man, Dave Chappelle beat the LGBTQ community. And I am happy for it. Because they usually, anything that happens, they find their way into it. But Dave Chappelle was the only one that I can sit here and say he beat them and he's still moving on. So to answer the question, no, they should not be able to compete in those sports. In the group, the census, and I agree completely, they need to have their own circuit. Now, how it's going to come about, I don't know. They usually find a way. When they want to do something, they find a way. But it's unfair, and like what Ralph mentioned, what if you had a transgender woman that wants to be a guy? She ain't gonna make it in the NBA.
How you know?
Biologically, because your best dude in your hood didn't make it to the NBA. Like, we watch the bench players. Them dudes is off the chain that they come ball with you. So you mean to tell me that a girl, because biologically you are a woman, you're not gonna be able to compete on that level.
I could make it. I could make it because it's a story. So somebody will bring me in.
Because of that, and that's not fair. Because when you get there,
what is fair though?
You finna get dominated.
Fair is a four-letter
so
word.
Now you got all these dudes in the G League
shit.
that can dunk on you, and they're gonna cross you up. All this you got it because you're the first transgender. That's not.
They don't bring people to the stand like I do. Like, this is about money. I agree with you. First of all, I know you. I don't disagree with you.
And I'm trying to fight because you hear me with. I'm trying to fight them as you throwing them at me. So I'm not. I know what you're doing. I agree. I know what you're doing, and I'm trying to fight.
What you gonna say to the people who say that?
With the money, that's hard. That's hard. And back on the original side, like you said, this lady got her head beat in by this guy.
It was sanctioned by the people, right?
It
was fair via the sanction. Like, you talk about fair, man. Fair is a place that they judge pigs.
Cotton candy.
That's it. Like, when we use the word fair is like somebody saying, if we all move 1,000 pounds, but you doing it in 5 pulls and I do it in 10, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's all 1,000 pounds, but was it really fair? Right. Fair is perspective. Fair, that's all fair means. And that's what we have to look at when we start talking about what's fair. Is it equal? I don't think it is. Equality is what we should be talking about. But fairness is different.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Women can't get paid the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Women go through a lot of scrutiny just for being women. And now they can't even play goddamn sport. Like, they say we can't live with them, we can't live without them, but y'all damn sure trying to get rid of them.
That's some fun.
Like, and maybe because I got daughters, I'm a little more into this, but I mean, this shit crazy, man. Like, damn.
I don't think it's just the fact that you got daughters, but you're just looking at it in its totality, where it's like, when does it stop?
Like, when
it doesn't, and that's the problem. I don't know if you guys have seen. I got 2 things real quick. The meme where it says that if this generation, if there was a zombie apocalypse, there would actually be a group of activists who are saying we can't kill the zombies. Like, that's a real thing that's going on right now, because that's what we're doing. Even something detrimental to society. There'll be a group of people trying to save them. We gotta save them. And another thing, I don't know if y'all saw this, and I believe I saw this today or yesterday. I was scrolling through YouTube because that's one of my favorite things to do now that I watch TV. And Willie D was one of my favorite rappers growing up. Shout out to Willie D. But on his podcast, he was talking about how there was a teacher who was fired because she didn't respond to a child
acting like a
cat. Wouldn't respond to the child acting like a cat. He identified, I forgot what it was, as a cat. Come on, man. At some point, we got to step up and say, listen, man, listen. We gonna put a box around all of this, and we ain't doing it. Kind of like when the airlines had the support, animal support, you support animals, emotional support animals, and they say, listen, you're not bringing an alligator on here.
Yeah, we couldn't do it.
We gotta stop it at some point to say, hey, I get it, but no.
I say the wild.
But you understand what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we are in society. Like, nobody's willing to draw the line. Nobody. Because they don't want to be canceled. Because that's what happened. Could you imagine black people having that much power to cancel somebody? Could you imagine to be that unified to say, nah, we don't feel like that? And people will say, well, we'll adjust. Imagine that. And a question for, I don't know if anybody's watching to our LGBTQ community.
I want to know how somebody feels.
I want to know, how is it that, and I respect your decision, but how is it that you choose to be LGBTQ, or you are? I don't want to make it seem like you choose, but you still, like, you can push away from the move as a black person, and these are black LGBTQ people, and you push away from black movements, like you are more into LGBTQ than you are to the struggles of being black every day. Like, that is something, that's a question I would love for somebody to be answered.
I've had that conversation before, and because it's racism within the LGBT community.
It is, right.
And
they'll admit it.
And they'll admit it. They'll tell you firsthand. But also, I'm not playing, well, I am playing those out. But in the same sense, what I can ask my neighbor, what are you doing to help the black push the black cause? So for them, it's more so like, what's more important to you?
Yeah.
Is it my, you know what I mean, my sexuality that I'm fighting for? And within that, am I fighting for my race equality within my sexuality? Or am I fighting for my racial equality? Right. Bottom line. Right.
And not to make them make a decision, but at some point I think you have to kind of,
I agree,
make a decision. Like, which one are you, what trait? Like, I don't get it. And I say this in complete ignorance. If anybody out there has the answer to it, I would definitely be willing to listen. But we continuously fight for more rights for other people than we do, and we haven't really received civil rights. I'm sure I've said that on this show before. We still fighting for civil rights as a community and to be treated equally, but then we still adding rights to other to be respectful situations. Yeah, I don't know. I don't because I don't want to be disrespectful, because I feel like the people who want to do that, you should have rights too. But at the end of the day, how can I fight for? How would I stand for rights for LGBTQ, and then the same people in the LGBTQ community are calling me the same thing? I don't get that.
Don't stand up.
I don't get it. I don't understand how that doesn't work. Or even, you know what, to go to women, and it's probably going to offend people who are women. Black women will go out and they will be feminists, and it's not to say that they don't have some angles that I agree with, but they'll be feminists all the way to the extreme. But they really don't even respect your black history. As a black person, they don't. Your voice means nothing to them, in my opinion, and that's just my view. And it can be skewed, I can be wrong.
No, it's documented. It's documented.
I know that. I was just trying to.
Let's be real. It's documented. It's documented.
So it's like those things are always confusing to me. That, you know, as a black male, you know, I've heard women say that, you know, black men just want to be the white men of the new generation. We just want to be the people who are in control of everything. It is though, and it's so much that comes with that, because like the white woman doesn't feel the same way about the white man, because they benefited so much from their upcoming. Right. So it just shows you the split in our community, in our household.
Well, people, y'all knew it was gonna be.
This shit was longer than a Spike Lee movie.
Y'all knew it was gonna be.
Wake up!
Y'all knew it was gonna be heavy. We had the 4 horsemen. We ain't been.
It's been about
a month.
Yeah, month and a half, almost 2. Yeah.
Y'all knew it was gonna be heavy, but we want to say, man, we appreciate y'all coming supporting us, man. We love the people that came up in the chat. We trying something new. Yeah. I'm gonna tell all y'all right now. That's why we went live today. People keep asking me about this group. If you was in the group, I'm telling you now, the group will eventually open back up, but it will be mainstream to the productivity and
growth.
The growth of this podcast. If it's not advantageous to us growing and being able to help people that we promote, as you can see, we keep these things up here for a reason, because these are people we believe in and they pushing forward. Then we're not going to be posting all of the memes and all of the crazy jokes and this and that. we're still going to have the adult conversations that we have on this show every freaking single time we hit the record button. So we invite all of y'all to come back when we open the room up. And if you want the real conversations, come get the real conversation. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. You know, we up in here. Share it.
Where can you find us?
You can find us on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, all of that. So I'm just saying, we out here. Y'all just need to come on and holler at us. And the people that rock with us, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We know who it is. So we're going to keep pushing it. It's going to get bigger and get better. So y'all come on, ride with us.
Yo, before we go out here, I just want to leave y'all with this. If you ain't willing to tell yourself that same lie you just told that person, keep it to yourself.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Call it quiet.
Afro Regan.
Yo, real quick shout out to my nephew Dante, the king of awesome. He representing for kids across all of the spectrum.
Chucky,
I just want to make
Dante.
sure that I give you a shout out my first time back, 2022 on the podcast, kingofawesome.com. You can also check it out on Instagram, man. I'm telling you, 13 years old, young autistic kid on the spectrum, doing this thing, representing for all of the kids, man. I appreciate you, Dante, man. I love you. I'm Nickel City Flex, man. The original Root intellect, the God. Let's go.
I am the 18th. We'll see y'all soon.
Excellence. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. Oh man, that was dope. That was dope.
YouTube, what up?